I want to see a double initiator like the classic OG breach silver.
Yeah, what it looks like, we're not going to get a breach, but we will get that killjoy as well out of Alpha. Do we like it? Vakash is Viper jailed?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's nice.
I wish to see him on Initiator, though he teased me in the interview that he was going to be playing several roles. Maybe he wasn't aware of the map veto back then, but we know that he can be very flexible. He did a good job on Breeze, so I'm also waiting for him, you know, to take his timing, like on short, to be a real poison on A shorts for the defensive side also. And on BBL side, I mean, Lover's Rock is going to have to, you know, to support Larok. I'm wondering whether their duo is going to be working, functioning or not.
Yeah, and it looks like if Kreven locks is in, he is indeed playing Cypher on every single map that BBL are going to play so far. And that's not something that you see in 2026.
Especially after the Cypher like nerfs and stuff. Like me personally, I thought Cypher was like going to be played a lot less, I would say. Like I'm kind of surprised.
I thought it was dead. I thought it was over
yeah.
for Cypher, to be honest, especially in a meta that is, you know, very double controller, double initiator, or double duelist, you know, centered. I am actually surprised to see some Cypher, even in VCT EMEA.
Well, I'm surprised to see on every single map, you
right,
know? It's been a long time since then. But Hero, before I let you go, do you want to predict who you think is going to win? Haven?
I think both sides are looking very strong, but I would have to give it to like the boys of Fnatic, I would say.
Oh, of course he does, of course he
does.
I mean, surely they don't lose in front of Leo. Let's toss this back to our casters. Minch and Tom, take it away.
Thank you very much, Yinsu. It's time to kick off map number 2. What a belter the first one was, Tom. A 13-11, and one that never looked like it was going to be close. A 7-0 start for Fnatic, but yeah, a team has managed to make a comeback against Fnatic. Map 1. Oof. Let's see how the second goes.
Yeah, Larok was incredible in that map. No doubt the best map that we've seen from him so far, well, since being in Tier 1, which is only, what? That was his, what, 4th map? So it's not like a crazy pool of maps, but doing it versus Fnatic, as I said, the rumors were that there was a team that wanted him, wanted to try and sign him away, and he decided to stick with this BBL core, stick with the boys that he made it through Ascension with, and hey, so far, so good. The question is, can they now continue that on going into both Fnatic's map pick, but also potentially the next one where they struggled on just a couple of days ago?
To start things off, aggression from BBL. They've sent a lot of players to look for this fight in A main. And rotating back is going to take a long time. Easier to go forward. Push is coming to shove. Fnatic, they've seen one player pushed up A. They expect there could be some aggression, but they don't know quite how much. Great paranoia. It forces 2 players back. Larok chases them around that corner. Vakash is being spotted. Alpha's being dropped, but that trade back, it's kept it doable. A 2 versus 3 now. Vakash and Boaster, Spike's still under their control, but they're looking to trade out those fights, to catch a straggler towards A main, but BBL have backed off.
Well, yeah, this is the value of Kreven. Kreven just has so much of the map locked down with information. Like, is he going to kill everybody if they go C or B? No, he can't be in both places at once. But the trips deep within C, the cam as well, and of course the one you're looking at on your screen right now, it meant if they go pushing A and they go the other way, he at least has a bit of delay and a bit of info. That's the value that Cypher is bringing. For now, at least.
30 seconds left.
It's a walk all the way back from Vakash. Not sure if they're trying to sell a ruse, maybe hoping that those players are still pushed up and are going to get aggressive. They are rotating off, but realistically, with 15 seconds left, he now looks to try and join his teammate, but whatever ruse they were trying to sell has not been sold. They're going to be on the right side of the map, ready to try and flood back in.
Spike planted.
I'll be denied. They're quickly on him. Vakash stuck behind that box. As you said, no escape. Boaster has a paranoia, will catch one, but the spat through is perfect. And BBL take the pistol round to start Haven. This, the map pick of Fnatic, Tom, I think we have to come in with higher expectations. Maybe not for the first half, but overall. This should be Fnatic's take, but BBL They're looking hot to the touch coming into this.
Yeah, you can see the confidence that LaRock is running with and the rest of the team sort of following alongside. But then I do feel like it is almost that yin and yang. You have the hyper-aggression of LaRock and Lovers Rock, and then you have Kreven as your safe pair of hands on the other side of the map, just being that sort of smart, integral turret that they need. And they even knew that he hadn't pushed to the backside because that trip never got broken. So it just gave so much information to where that player was. I think he got hit by a cam and then a reveal. There was no escape for Vekaj. It's just smart stuff towards the end. And maybe not what you would expect from a young rookie team.
He keeps going. Of course he does. Ain't crash in his back pocket. 1 kill for Lovers Rock already. He's clearing the window. They've seen him. They have dealt with him. It was a bold play. And that's the risk for BBL. Burned up. Everyone else has to play this one tight, but the problem is for Fnatic, you think about look at any part of the map right now. If they go as a group, if they push it down as 4, there's a real chance for them to come out on top in that fight, especially now that they've got a Marshall to work with too. I think that's kind of why you see such passive angles being taken. Every single player on BBL can fire a shot or 2 and immediately get out.
Well, yeah, they've also still got so much information across the map. Like they don't really need to overface just the side steps from LaRock. If they go towards long, they have a player just watching. There goes the drone. This is all a ruse. Smoke still kept on that side of the map, and with no real pressure put behind all of that utility, the 2 players have just fallen back. They're just waiting patiently for anybody to try and attempt to run. In fact, because of this, Fnatic have actually gone pushing into this side of the map, maybe expecting it to be a bit more empty, because they felt no resistance to their initial push. 15 seconds left, and nothing really left to play with, but okay. The Bandit has helped them at least with 1. LaRock still standing, and the TP to the site. All really hope for is a little bit of damage, and hey, dropped an extra gun. That's not bad. 3 players dropped in a low buy round for Fnatic. Now they can look to try and break them with the buy.
Yeah, I think they've definitely dealt with that one. Nice way, considering Lovers Rock got caught out early. It was already a decent start, but sufficient damage done on the side of Katie. Next is what it's all about, though. Fnatic, a streak of rounds came out of BBL to close out the previous. They carried that momentum through to this one. It's going to be a really tough pill to swallow for Fnatic so far. There hasn't been a lot to report back about. Good start to the map for Vekaj. This is where they need to really make a dent in that BBL defense. There's so many weaknesses. You've got 2 pistols being brought into this round, 2 Bulldogs, the main hope being Lovers Rock can land a couple of tags, yet already BBL have the opening pick, and it's Kayak that they've dropped.
That's not the start you were looking for. He was a superstar in the early rounds of the last map. Loiter, though, has been dropped through the smoke. Vekaj has been doing well so far. His 5th kill already. Lovers Rock holding a tight angle, but it seems like they're aware of the danger. He's not breaking his step. Eventually, that pressure will be put on, forcing him out, but a lot of time has been bought. 50 seconds on the clock as they now look to potentially redirect. That was all just to make sure there wasn't too much information available, and that B site did have that initial opening. It seems like that's where they'll go.
Smoke and reveal, heard and seen. Kreven decides not to swing back in and look to catch him crossing. Walls blocked him out anyways. Now LaRock goes through on a wall of his own, and they've made it to the back site. Decoy sent through Garage, trying to draw some eyes so they can get that early re-clear of that control. But the problem is here now, the time ticking away. Paranoia, utility still there for Fnatic. A shock dart to work with. A nano that hasn't been thrown. BBL need to take the fight to them. They need to go pushing, and Fnatic are waiting for it. Beckoning them into these fights, but with Boaster down, that's a thorn in the side. Still, players towards the window, and the defuse denied! Vekaj! Unleashing an ace on them! Fnatic have got their round, and we said a good start to this map.
Look at the kill time.
Bloody stellar one there.
So, on the entire scoreboard, Fnatic currently have 10 kills.
Yes, 9.
Yeah, Vekaj has 9. It really is. That is ridiculous. Maybe that's what they saw. Maybe this is what he was
That's
doing.
what I'm saying, man. Whoever scout knows a lot more than I do, and also about getting this out of him. Where was that guy last year? I haven't seen him.
That was the first half.
Oh, French fans on this.
They're fine now, though. Their team's doing great. Even still, the immediate shutdown. LAROC's gone, Kayak's gone. Hey, I would call that even. Alfie has done well. Back on his trusty companion of Killjoy, allows him to almost play his own game at times. After losing your duelist early, you're gonna have to do a little bit more here together. Drone through.
Cage triggered.
Lineup being thrown as well.
Swarm grenade.
For the Nano. But there is still this operator. Glass cannon one as well. No shields behind it, but Lover's Rock is confident.
He's so back. From a 0 and 10 start to the previous map. Inverse Kayak.
Cutting through.
Look at him go. The confidence to come in here with the glass cannon. Plays the TP on the side. Damn, you gotta be worried about him. But BBL, I'm gonna worry about Boaster. What was that? A double, and with a pit up as well, and up on the retake without shields. Even with them, not sure it's gonna make a difference. This one's done. There's no way you get away with that. They don't have shocks, but they've got a snakebite still to work with. Kreven, though, he's got a gap inside that. If they throw the snakebite through, they'll assume that he's left this because he'd be dead to the pit. He'll just about get it to half. It's a small margin, but that could get them across the line. The problem is the spams. The decay is going to be in play. Kreven as well to land the first, but Boaster finishes his dinner, eats them alive inside that pit. And we're back to 2-2, back to level footing.
It's a little bit nervous. Well, when I saw that gap, I started to feel a little bit shaky. But Boaster, well aware of the spam angle, going to make sure that nothing more can come of it. He now moves up the board. Puts them 2-2, but more importantly, resets the economy of BBL. Now, I'm looking at LAROC having the overdrive. That's one ult we've already seen enough impact from Kayak alone. See what ideas he has with it. Doesn't seem to matter. Kayak's on the board. Rose gone within a second. I think he was just attempting to try and support LAROC's early push, but he's the one that bites the bullet.
It's an ace and a 4K so far for Fnatic, and that's gotten them up against an eco.
Turrets destroyed.
Great way to get back through into the game. Trades out on mid are perfect. From this point, the question of damage is where we have to look. There is an AWP in play here. Taking down a couple of players could be valuable, depending on where those bodies fall. I guess there are dangers. You're going to have this plant through from Crashies, so Hunter's Fury online for the next round as well over on Fnatic.
Planted.
One away from a lockdown as well. And I think that's obviously just going to be something that Rose is going to have to camp his ultimate. Just wait for that lockdown to come through to fire his own in. In terms of what BBL have to work with coming into the next, they'll have the rifles, but Fnatic have the upper hand. In terms of those ultimates with freedom to use their own Hunter's Fury for those site clears, for the post plants.
It looks like exits or die to the spike in this one for BBL. And while this is the one where Fnatic are going to start to build up some of that economy on the attack side, it's always difficult after a defeat in the last map to have that reset, especially after losing the pistol to such an aggressive defensive side. But with Vakash's ace, Boaster, and now this round, Fnatic are looking like they're back on the horse. We're going to start looking again at BBL, like, okay, what have you got to try and turn this tide? The operator in Lover's Rock definitely is one of the pieces of the puzzle, that's for sure. But I do worry a little bit that their defensive side was so good on the last map because Kreven was pretty much surviving every single time. Like, it was really hard to pick him out. Thus far, he's been having a bit of a rough map. Now, it's early days, but that's something to keep an eye on.
Oh, Hunter's Fury. We talked about it being fired in a bit more freely. Well, it's going to be off rip that it's sent through. Lover's Rock, the one to find the damage. taking down a player as they clear out that space, but he gets a bit greedy, goes back for more, and it's Kayak to take a bite right out of him.
Still looking for those fights. Operator tag, but it's not quite the kill. They've posted Vekaj up as well. Now they have lost Boaster early. That does sort of remove some of their flexibility. Paranoia obviously gone, but also those additional smokes, the wall being placed early, doesn't leave them with a whole lot. And in fact, it's actually looking like it's going to be a walkout. I'm looking at the position of Crashy's drone has been utilized. He's firing off all of his utility. He has absolutely no idea, clueless to the fact that there's been re-aggression from the BBL side. And now they gamble on the idea that it's A. They have gambled wrong. And with the cam being broken, it might swing them back the other direction. But it does seem like Fnatic will commit this way. I think Rose just saw
30
something.
seconds left.
Because they all just stopped.
So.
They all just stopped in a moment, and he is locked in on that angle.
And they're not peeking it until they slide in, and Hunter's Fury then follows him. You're dead right, Tom. It was worth committing. The kill found, now Vekaj down. Kayak on 14, really nicely done. But the IGL up top, eyes like searchlights in the dark.
10 seconds left.
He has given
Spike
hope
planted.
to BBL. This round should
Still
be
have
theirs.
drone. That's so annoying. Kayak 14 HP, had to play risky. He had to get in their face. He had to find an off angle. And with the drone, you just can't do that.
Nanos are gone as well, Tom. Fnatic were about to back off site, but they've got to stay up close. The shock dart removed their nanos. The spams removed Kayak. And Alpha is now all that stands. We've seen him win in situations like this, but it's not going to happen against BBL. A 3K from LaRock confirms the third for BBL, and we're right back to neck and neck.
Operator going to be retrieved, so that was why they're holding on to the defuse. But yeah, I wonder if it was just like the operator barrel or something that was seen that gave away the game of Vekaj being in that corner, because you don't commit this much utility if you're not 100% certain that guy has gone into the corner. So clearly something was spotted out by Rose that stopped them all rotating. They were about to sprint back to the C site.
Here's the thing, though. It's really the deal that they've made here. The handshake that's tightened halfway through. Alphier now gets to use that lockdown pretty much denial-free. There's not going to be a Hunter's Fury to take him down, and so, it looks like we're going to get some early aggression out of BBL. No surprise. Gate crashes online. Lovers Rock can get down here. The smoke and window means he doesn't need to worry about his left, but they've realized that also. Fnatic hearing the smoke bloom and window. They don't really want to give away a free fight and a free pick, and it's a good thing too, because it's not just the op. There's a Paranoia being held, so that off contact, Lloyd can fire it through, catch those players, and completely obliterate them. So you'll have an op, and then everyone else trying to trade gets hit by a Paranoia and probably deleted by Kraven. There's not really an easy solution to this other than go somewhere else or commit a lot of utility to clear this out. And with Lovers Rock backing off, Fnatic have chosen their timing well, but that Paranoia is still a big problem.
Yeah, it's still there. Drone goes through. Pressure put in, but the spam's wonderful. But that's where the trap is sprung. Swinging round the corners. It's beautiful from BBL. They had to adapt the trap. That's an amazing shot from Vekaj. Just on timing alone. But even still, though, that spike has been dropped in an undesirable location. Boaster's not just going to sit pretty, though. Bear in mind, he could just take the spike. But I think it's been realized by Lovers Rock. Look at his movement, straight back towards the A site. He's had the idea that, okay, they're going to look for a gap, look for some space. Where will that be held? But he is looking in the wrong direction at the moment. The potential for a wraparound, but the sixth sense. Now that spike's going to be taken, and he's going to be there, ready and waiting to just stop him, deny him. Only 9 seconds left on the clock. Vekaj is trying to bait him in. He doesn't even realize he stood right next to him. It's going to be a fourth for BBL. A wonderful trap play, but then Lovers Rock with a perfect read.
Yeah, everything going according to plan there. The second that drone goes up, LaRock is ready. Paranoia is fired in. He's sliding down middle and covering that distance at record pace. But like you said, really the cherry on top is the fact that read is made. They know the ult's online. They know the spike's not in a great position for a snatch and grab, so you're going to go for that ulti to take it for free. Lovers Rock cerebral play, and Fnatic feeling outclassed have called a timeout early. Remember, it was BBL burning both their timeouts 6 rounds in, right before the 7th. Now Fnatic are the ones to call that first panic play.
Yeah, I think it's been a moment, like obviously the 3 rounds in a row, they did well. I think Vekash especially has been a sight for sore eyes if you're a Fnatic fan, but yeah, it's definitely been a lot of the set plays, a lot of the traps. Like, even just look at the beginning of that round. A singular smoke goes down, and Fnatic are in a spot where they're like, okay, we've got to take time to clear everything. And then there's a second layer. And that's what I said, that's what I love about this BBL squad is like, it's not just a squad of aimers. It's not just a team coming in that's gone, okay, we've got Turkish talent, we can just out-aim everybody. Don't get me wrong, they can. Look at some of the clips from the last map. But then they also have these setups. They have these traps that they're putting Fnatic in a horrible position. Like, there was no way out for those players in the corner. It's just how many of those can they get away with? And what will that pause now maybe pick up the pace a little bit from Fnatic, not allow them to have those sort of set plays? I also think, especially towards that A site, Fnatic have been able to get quite a lot of value in the early round, with Rose being caught a couple of times.
Oh, the timer ticking. But Fnatic are taking it nice and easy, knowing what they're up against. The Pistols likely to group up and hit, but I think we've seen them try to play that push and pull, and it's a good round for learnings. Figuring out which spots are being played, which spots are being overreacted to when you pop that little bit of utility down. Already, aggression towards A gets opening pick. The play towards Garage doesn't net all too much. BBL now have a high-low inside there, so you're definitely not getting that control for free. But taking this focus from the defensive side, bringing their eye towards the B site, towards middle, this is working wonderfully. Just like Aragorn at the gates, you're going to be able to walk right into the A site. Still need to deal with Rose.
He's left completely alone, but the rotation just in time. As the drone comes through, he is going to get spotted. Oh dear. Luckily, it's a fake, taking damage from the shot dart, and I don't think a single bullet has connected for him so far. In fact, LaRock's been lost elsewhere, now jumping in, but luckily, what a shot from Kayak, but it's only damage. The round is still going to go the way of BBL as they extend their lead a little further. I do feel like Rose is maybe firing quite a lot of warning shots there. This is your 24th warning.
It is insane to think that, you know, there was a point where we were talking about, you know, the spark of hope for BBL to maybe, I mean, even build up momentum for the second half was kind of the idea. They did that, you know, a bit better than expected, even in the dream scenario.
Yes, this should do.
And now we're looking at this point where there's some messy, some chaotic scenarios that they're coming out on top of as well. Like, they look to be beating Fnatic at every facet of the game in a lot of these rounds. That spark of hope, man, it's bloomed into a raging inferno. BBL taking full advantage of the momentum they've been gifted, but Kraven, he's got to be dead in this corner, surely.
Paranoia just a second too late. Luckily, that Paranoia was so good that LaRock got about 6 attempts to kill Althea, which normally you don't get. Sight has been lost in the meantime, though. They've given up this side of the map. Ultimates, not really the ones you'd want online. A couple of kills would be needed for either LaRock or Lover's Rock. Both of them are about to come under pressure, and he doesn't manage to win that fight. Vekash, though, does. Trade almost immediate. It keeps that control, but do they know there's a second player coming in from behind? Rose is going to watch, keep them in the corner. Flash is being expended, almost keep the idea that there's nobody there, and then Kayak is dropped as well. 2 standing, one of them being Crashies to take that first contact, wins the first fight, second as well. Now up against his doppelganger on the other side, who actually has an operator in hand. He could just buy that time, waste that clock a little bit lower, and almost try and bait him. It needs to be halved, and now Rose would need to connect this shot, needs to bait him into a fight, and Crashy just isn't going for it. He's playing this masterfully and will go down with the ship. It's a 4th round at the hands of Crashies. Fnatic are back.
1 round behind. They didn't leave it too late either to heat right back up into this. Been some crazy rounds. 1 in it. And the fact that Kraven gets caught here in mid, not even a massive pivotal play for them. It's the fact that when they move towards this A site, Fnatic leave a player, I think it was Boaster, behind to watch for that very early flank. And there was a double wraparound coming in from BBL. It's spotted immediately.
Beautiful.
They're able to make those adjustments. It is.
Time to
maniacal.
Here.
Round 10. Lockdown online on one side. We're getting close to Rose having that Hunter's Fury. to the point of the game where I expect to see that put through, but now it might be needed. Man disadvantage immediately.
Kayak has been getting wrecked. Like, it seems like every play he's attempted to make, every push, he's been shut down. We started about his early start on the last map being dominant and, well, currently 3-9.
It very much is. It's the Lover's Rock experience from the last map. He's going for these early fights. There's another guy on the other side. He's winning that joust every
Slightly
time.
better experience.
Slightly, yeah, he's got 3
0
kills.
and 10.
That's good. But, you know, in terms of effect, about the same. I think it's a little more forgivable as well here on this attack side. What?
Okay.
Was that another? Honestly, at this point, can we please get like end of day compilation of the of Vikas shooting people through smokes? Because I feel like he's doing it non-stop. The last map, I can think of like 4 rounds where he did it. He's got a crazy read on like when you're going to be there.
Yeah, and it's not even like he has any files. Like, I saw word.exe on his background, but other than that...
I saw him on the PowerPoint before the game. I'm not sure what that was about.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
It wasn't really anything. 4v4. Rose in the corner once again. Lockdown. They're just going to wait this one out. Maybe he'll stick around.
He's going.
He's going to try, and he has managed to take down one, destroying this. Yeah, I was about to say, that was a last-ditch effort. I also think... Oh, I was about to say, LaRock almost gets boy straight back in, though. Sliding through, wants to try and deny the Viper's pit. The spam not quite connecting. Spike hasn't gone down just yet. They're going to have to try and stick it. And the spam does damage, but not to the player he wanted. Lover's Rock has managed to find another into that 1v1, but it's the same man again. Crashy's looking to save back-to-back rounds, but not this time. Loiter will give them that lead or extend it that little further. 6-4.
They pushed them off the B side. They got the control for a moment. They got a pit down as well. That's a nightmare round to play against. And the fact that you've got a Yoru ult on BBL, Lover's Rock goes in there, searches for these players. Nah, man, stop, dude. Like, eat this.
Oh, he walked into it.
That's so annoying to play against. He's doing it so consistently. Miss all the shots
that's
don't take, but this is it. He's got the Yoru stood behind him going, shoot me. He's right here.
Yeah.
When you got a laser like that, it's pretty easy. Just fire it through. And he'd already done, I think, about half HP-ish when the Viper first tried to walk through the choke and he blind fired. So really, really well done. That's a great counter. You love to see things like that. And keep in mind, that's not just the pit. It's also the lockdown taken out of play. A really big ultimate to get that space where Rose didn't have the Hunter's Fury to counter. And then, well, he used himself. The fact that he walked into the smoke to take the first fight, I respect it. That takes gall. The fact that he then tried to spam the ult through the smoke, that's a little shaky. It was maybe a bridge too far, but we've got some fans from Brazil here. That's quite a journey, I have to say.
That is a long journey. Been there a few times. Amazing food.
I'm sorry about the weather, lads. It's tough. It's cold out here. I doubt it gets as cold in Brazil.
No, I don't think it does.
I almost cried on the way in today, man.
Weirdly as well, slightly better beaches in Brazil as well, if you want to just name
Only
obvious
slightly,
things.
though. Come on now. Have you been to the lake? You can skate on it right now. But yeah, we obviously have a little bit of a technical break coming in here. League officials investigating down on that stage. I'm sure they'll have us back into the swing of things in no time. But with 2 rounds left to play for, BBL still holding that mantle, holding the baton. It's been really impressive to see them because, again, one of the big conversations that we'll talk about behind the scenes and indeed on air, we'll hear it from the desk. There it is, baby. There it is. It looks so good in red. But one of the things we talk about is stage experience. And for these guys, like, sure, they got to play on that stage, Ascension, yada, yada. But being here at VCT EMEA, facing off against some legends sitting opposite you, even just getting used to, like, the temperature in the studio, the tables, the monitors, it's a complete, and the PCs as well. It's a different setup than what you're used to. You expect to see teething issues here. Anything but. It really has looked like BBL entering their second home. And it's good to see them so comfortable already, because it just makes me think, how high is that ceiling going to go by the time we hit stage 2?
Well, yeah, as I said, there was a reason that a lot of teams, and maybe even most of the teams, were trying to pick up at least one member of this squad from last year. Like, they were the Ascension team of 2025 and the Ascension team of 2024. In fact, the man that stopped them is on the other team in the form of Kayak. Like, we know how well he played that year when he won Ascension, and a lot of it was, maybe this is a bit of a grudge match, but I think that when you talk to anybody at BBL, the grudge match isn't really about beating any specific team. It's about being the best. That's why they stuck together. That's why they stayed as a group. It's not because of, oh, I don't want to join this org or I don't want to be a part of this squad. It's, oh, I think we can win. I think that if we go together into the tier 1, we can beat these teams. And I feel like, sure, a lot of that is just confidence in yourself. The other part of it is everybody scrimmed this team, so they know they could beat some of these teams. I spoke to Rose, and I think they were scrimming the top 4 at Champs, and he was like, yeah, we were beating them. So we feel pretty good about Ascension because we were beating the Champs team. Bear in mind, who was one of the last 4 at Champs? Fnatic. So they come in with confidence because they go, I've actually beaten these lads before all the time in scrims, and sure, scrims don't mean everything, but when you're a young player, it means something.
Let me really rack my brain. What was the top 2 Fnatic? I think all year, actually.
Not kickoff.
Not kickoff. Sorry. No, shaky start there. They don't on. But what was the other? Yeah, for BBL, I think one of the things I really enjoy about them is the fact that they, like you said, had offers from many different teams, and no doubt one player could have taken the cash, right? And left. Went to the promised land of a stacked roster instead of these tier 2 guys you're playing with. But they stuck with their buddies. They stuck together. Shame Fnatic didn't do the same. But anyways, for BBL, looking for that 7th round here on the defensive side. Outlaw in play for Lovers Rock. A few ultis to work with, and Fnatic already showing a lot of presence towards C Long. They've lost a player there in the form of Alfier, but it doesn't look like they're going to be committing straight through for the fights. Fortunately, their fallback will be spotted.
This is a round where you don't expect too much.
Take flight.
Oh, Rose, they're going to know he's pushed up, and he's going to know that they're there. A lot of the danger dissipating. Wow. It's just grinding to a halt, waiting to see if anybody makes a mistake. I like that we see both Lovers Rock and Loiter do that. The constant jump peaks with the TP to escape, so that they can get information with very, very small amounts of risk. For Lovers Rock, he's gone straight back to the right place at the right time.
Ooh, he's just about making it out.
They found my wire.
Could have been a double spam on him.
Camera taken
Danger. But Lovers Rock avoids any further damage. The wall even helping him absorb that first shot. Reloaded. In for a little bit more, but he'll be denied as they move towards that garage, at least from his perspective. 12 seconds left. Fnatic are taking this into a late B hit, and it's Kreven that they have to deal with. They've racked the rotates for the most part. It was an easy task to get that plant down. That advantage no longer in play for BBL, quickly closing the distance. They've already lost. Lovers Rock the sniper down on backside. Crashes does well. They get a little bit of damage and draw the eye, but the rest crumble because no one's able to trade that out.
He almost lined them up,
yeah. It looked like it. I got a little worried. But another for BBL. 7 on the board. This defensive side looking stellar. And it's worth mentioning, they did obviously decide to start on the defensive side, but Fnatic did decide to play this one.
It's surprising as well because I think a lot of people would have looked at this and gone, okay, well, Vekash coming in, maybe, yeah, downgrade from Chronicle just because it's Chronicle,
yeah.
But don't worry, we've got Kayak and Alfio going to carry us through the game. Oof. It's not looking great right now. They're having a rough one, both of them, 4-11, 3-10. They have been quiet and will definitely be a necessary piece of the comeback in the second half. But for now, they're looking to try and at least make this a 7-5. They've had opportunities as well. Kayak's time. It's not getting any better. He's already low.
I'll bet if Lovers Rock just taps on tab, he's going to be thinking, you get what you deserve. Have a taste of your own medicine. Kayak stuck in the corner. Could be 3-11. The Rock's walking up, and the gate crash just about got him out in time. And so they reset, but with damage taken, the Hunter's Fury still to play off against on both sides. Fnatic that need to take ground. I'm expecting that's going to be what they look to use to get them in. You don't want to hit the ult on the Rock. He's going to dodge it. But you do want to use it to clear those angles, surely.
Again, I feel like a lot of what Fnatic are having to do here is just constantly check angles to make sure they haven't lost too much space with how aggressive their opponents are willing to be, but they kind of have a double stack up on Shaw, a potential for Loiter to even turn around with a paranoia and send it through the wall. Instead, they're going to go back towards long, which actually is the
30
most open
seconds left.
spot. Best opportunity they have for a gap, but their opponents are not going to sit pretty. Alpha a one and done, but they now know that he's here. Trade out, looking for the spam, and Larok is still just going strong, dodging the ult while he does it. Impressive movement to keep himself alive. Eventually will go down though, keeping things even for the moment, but that time is ticking. 12 seconds left, the shot dart doing additional damage. And Bobostri needs to stay alive, but he's got his brother alongside him, Hunter's Fury. He's going to have to let go, and it's not going to get planted. There's not enough time. Oh, that has gone catastrophically wrong. The Red Bull clutch for Rose without doing any damage.
Oh, well, they might have gone through the last year, comeback after comeback. They've shed that here. They're almost giving it to the other team, but losing the time. Oh, that hasn't gone anywhere. A disaster for Fnatic. Could have been a stabilizing round, but a big play from BBL has put them 8-4. A big lead with a chance to close it out here and now. We've got a halftime break coming up, but during it, we're going to be going down to Lou, who is standing by with the fans. See what they've got to say about this, because it's been a bit of a surprising game. Lou, take it away.
Thank you, Mitch. And it's a clash of Turkish demons versus EMEA superstars, and the fans are here to witness it in person. I am now joined with Esat and Rave, two big fans, both of BBL and Fnatic. I know it's your birthday today, Esat, and you decided to spend it here at the Red Games Arena to support the BBL boys. But if you had to choose one of them, you know, your superstar in your heart, who would you pick? Who do you trust the most?
I think it has to be Loita Utku for me. Like, he's really young, he's really confident. I think he can go a really good long way. Yeah. I really trust him. He's going to be some of the greatest players in the history.
Some of the greatest players in the making, will see that. I'm now turning to you. Rave, you've been supporting Fnatic, and you know they lost the first map. Now they're down 4-8, so I want to know, why do you think over the years they're remaining maybe one of the best teams in EMEA? How are they so resilient, according to you?
I honestly think it's based on Boaster. Boaster is like the core of Fnatic as a team, and he's like holding everyone together. Also the other players, of course, but we always build up team energy and we can always come back, and we all know our comebacks, and we can come back this time again.
And we will see if you manage to do it. A good team synergy and a great captain. We'll see who takes the win between BBL and Fnatic in a few minutes during the halftime.
Thank you, Lou. Yes, what a game this has been. BBL leading 8-4, leading 1-0 in maps, and now it's their chance to not just beat Fnatic, but to best them in every single way. A 2-0, a clean sheet against this squad. That's an accolade that many teams would be more than happy to have.
Yeah, for sure. We know that this is a stage of 3 strikes and you're out, so it's not too dangerous for either side if they were to lose, but the further along you get, the further you drop down. It's a little bit of a bonus. Pace in on the Alfia. Well, if you thought he was having a bad start in the first half, it's not got any better. He's dead within the first 10 seconds.
That's the thing. You buy the bandit, you play up close like that. Laroc's managed to make it all the way through because of the mistake. Because the utility going down, he's wrapped around to the C site. He can make it late around through the spawn, but the spike is down. Fnatic might swap places with the attackers. This could be a big problem, but with Crash, he's down. Now the world could be their oyster. Vakash in the window, misses the shots in the cross. His wall will get him out. He's going to be able to reset, but now Vakash is down. He's being caught as he walks right into Lover's Rock, unaware of the space taken by BBL. It's a messy pistol. Lloyd and Larocque desperately low. It's still anyone's game. Oh, it was. It really was.
He's now back to the C site. Kayak has the right read. 2 players, 1 bullet down, and then Lover's Rock is the only healthy one. He's been spotted on the other side, but they're planting for the spawn. The spam's not quite reaching. Close, but no cigar. Needs to be his first shot. If he gets rid of Lover's Rock, this really is winnable, but it's questioning where all those other players have gone. It's questioning if they sit in these corners tight around his angle. So many places left to check. Noises going off around him that is going to add further confusion to what is ultimately players just standing completely still. And now that one-way smoke in play is only going to make it more difficult. Time ticking away, and he didn't even get past hurdle number 1. That's Lover's Rock. 4 kills in the pistol. And after what was, as said, a devastating start to map number 1, he is having a fantastic map number 2.
And just as an individual look at an individual case, I suppose, of what we talked about, how does this team lose? How do you deal with coming up against a player who's hailed as the duelist, the rookie of the year? And not necessarily this year, but you know, as close as can be. And he demolishes you. Has one of the best starts to a map we've seen. You have one of the worst we've seen from you. And not only did he reset in that map, he then comes into this looking sublime as well. For BBL, they are ticking all the boxes, man, as we're watching them. And, you know, I suppose that's one of the things we talk about comfort on the stage they'll need to grow into. They skip a lot of the problems that a lot of orgs who've been here for a long time have. You know, teams like GX don't, teams like Fnatic to the most part don't. Where they've already been together, they've got that chemistry. They don't have to figure each other out. Figure out the other teams. Nice shot by Lover's Rock. Did he get out? He didn't even use the gate crash and he was free.
Yeah, I guess didn't want to risk giving them that second or so of window. Alpha's about to go swinging into what is the majority of the team and done a little bit of chip damage, but only thing they'll worry about. And Rose, well, he's had enough of that. Kayak hoping that maybe somebody swings into the angle he's already in. Good flash, but even still, no one dead. A lot of damage. Look how low some of these players are, but if you don't take them down, well, the damage comes down to you lost them some shields, which I don't think BBL are going to care that much in a 10-4 lead.
Well, you know, I won't speak for the players.
Okay, you can ask them after the game. I'm sure that'll be a really interesting interview question.
I think I will.
In round number 14, did you mind losing your shields and winning with all of your players alive?
I won't ask them. I don't want to agitate them. Bring back up that bad memory. But yeah, I think young Vekaj go down to the spike, name of the game for Fnatic.
Lover's Rock is like, you're not going down to the spike, you're going down to me. And he was wrong. But he did get an orb, and that's what he wanted. He's one away from having his ult online.
Orb's an orb, wins a win. Just the stats take a small hit, but they can afford a few hits here or there.
Lost his shields.
Oh, no! Well, in that case, yeah, for BBL, 10-4, strong position, but here's my meta theory, right, Tom?
Okay, ready for this.
Fnatic have come in, map 2, they realized we need to come back. We need to capture our mojo again. We got to get Vekaj on the same page we've been on last year.
You can't come back if you're in the lead.
Exactly. And so that's it. They realized in a Fnatic game there will always be a comeback.
How far do they let it go?
Right about now.
Okay.
Right about now, and then you bounce back.
It's amazing
if I was
Milan,
a coach, that's what I'd be called.
Milan told you this much about their strategy.
I just assume Milan is as
You're very
strategically minded as me. So, well, he's gone for the Vekaj shoot someone through smoke again strategy. And no surprise to anybody, it's worked again. I don't know how he does it, but the guy knows his angles. Fair play. Another for the tally. They need to make a compilation of that. And Boaster's caught Kraven looking the other way. Like I said, Tom, this is the round they lock in. All part of the plan.
Deploying drone.
It's a risky plan, but if your opponents get on board as well, sometimes it can work.
It's the content strategy from Devard. You know, they've allowed him to integrate more holistic product.
That's not a good idea. Oh. The Rock is still alive. Lover's Rock is still alive. We asked what would happen if that duo was both online at the same time, and we've been witnessing it. A hefty lead. And LaRock is looking to try and get the punish. Patient from Lover's Rock catches one, but LaRock is taking a lot of damage in return. Even still, damage here would be nice. They can buy into the next round, but it's not over until it's over. A swing coming out, timing perfect! And even though LaRock was on just 11 HP, he's come out with 2. Crashies and Boaster.
Who's next?
But now they're even going to be potentially revealed on the hunt to try and find where they are. And the fact is, while all of this happens, the time is still ticking. That's allowed Lover's Rock to reposition completely. I almost wonder if they have to think about saving the weapons. The time just isn't there. And in a scenario of a bonus, it's not too bad for the side of BBL. A round that they almost definitely shouldn't have won. A 3v5 that makes things 11-4. A Red Bull clutch to close it. And well, Fnatic have got to be feeling the heat now.
The instant reset applied with that Red Bull clutch. Starts out with Vekaj, starts out with Vekaj getting killed and Boaster, in mid, I believe it was. Yeah. And they managed to return it. That's the play though, man. This is where you've already fought for control towards A-Link. Boaster's backed off and gone to spawn. He sets up a paranoia. Why? Because you don't have C-Link, you don't have B-Main, so where are you going to be? In A-Link and probably backside on Shield. So you paranoia the shield guy, you flood the site, you isolate short later, easy game. That's the plan. And BBL get in there. They play on site. They look for the fights, and they've pushed a team that has been making internationals, running it down throughout the years. And they've pushed them to 11-4 to another timeout, possibly to a 2-0.
With this is also just the talking point. Go back to lock-in, sure, they were champions, but the 2 kickoffs after that, those are events that they didn't make. Sure, 3rd to 4th doesn't look too bad on paper, but this has been the event that has been their kryptonite. The early stages of EMEA, and then Fnatic grow into it as they go. Stage 1, Stage 2, they always make the internationals. They always seem to be there to do damage, to compete with the very best, but kickoff hasn't been the same. It is looking like they're going to get off to a rough start. As said, there's always time to turn it around, and there's extra time in this version of kickoff because you can lose twice and still make it.
You have that extra bracket to fall down to, and well, for Fnatic, we all know it's not over till it's over. But right now, a team that for last year was a story of top 2, it looks like they could be top 2 in this matchup as well. If BBL have their way, 2 more rounds. LaRock 22-10, and Lovers Rock was out on a similar performance last map. Really feels like, well, so was LaRock, I suppose. Really feels like there's complete difference of levels, at least here on Haven. The pick of Fnatic. If we were to run it back again, I think BBL would be happy to play this map.
Ooh, okay, he got there in the end. A little bit of delay. Of course, this is more of a buy than not for Fnatic. Like, you've got all credits spent by Alpha, who's now dead, by the way.
What was that?
Should I name another player? All credits spent by Kayak. Okay, it didn't work twice.
Oh, through the door.
Well, maybe it will work twice, just on a slight delay. Kayak's still in a very aggressive position. And Krevin's just going to walk past, but this might actually end up being more of a burden. Because he'll go through and go, guys, A is clear. There is no one on A.
The thing is, with the positions they have, sure, they might go back and go A main. They could split into B, but it's back to A main. Okay, now here's the problem. You know, nobody's short. There should be someone long. They're worried about the corner. The question was, would they expect him to be that far up? And the answer was a clear yes. Great job from Krevin. Great space taken. And Fnatic, a 5v3 facing them. In a round that a few players have gone heavy in terms of investments. And there's nothing to show for it for right now.
That was also with 15 seconds left when they go onto the site. So if they lose the spike there, this could have got incredibly dangerous. It seems like they're still going for this. I expected this to maybe fall into a save, but they're going to try and run it back, run into the site. They're going to get slaughtered for it. It was barely even a lick of damage from the side of BBL. They'll take that all day long, but credit where credit is due. Krevin made sure that no mistakes were made, because I feel like we've seen that many a time where you get onto the side and you go, everything's clear, and that's enough for your team to lose a round, but they were methodical in the way they checked everything.
Well, my hope now is next time that I'm in a ranked game and we're 7-0 down, my teammate votes to surrender, I hope the rest all think about it. And I hope they also surrender, because we don't have LaRock. Yeah. We don't have Lovers Rock. You're not making that comeback happen. And hell, we didn't think they would either. But look at them. 12-4. 8 chances to close this out against a team hailed by many as the best for a long time now. Rose, with the spidey senses tingling, sends a few into Alpha Air. And as lead flies, the chances sink for Fnatic. They need a hero. They need a hero to stick around for quite a while. A Batman for their Gotham.
He's on the desk, unfortunately, so I don't think they're going to be able to get him. In the corner, they're checking again. They know that this is where Kayak is, but he's got cover. He's got support. Vekaj has just been ragged. Oh! Nice shot from Kayak. Finally, he awakens. But there's always more pieces to the puzzle for BBL. Loiter has taken full control. Now, if he had his ult, this would be wonderful. He could take the spike, but instead his teammate's going to have to deliver it for him, and he's going to act as a backstab. Crunchies has got to be like, why are you there? Why are you behind me? Why are you waiting, watching for me to make a move? They have got them trapped in a box. Oh, well, we've seen Boaster clutches spark this Fnatic team time and time again. But there has been nothing in this map to make me believe. They already know exactly where he is. Smoke to create a gap. Paranoia leaving him blinded. He's got to wait a second, and they're both sat within, waiting. A Paranoia on the other side, but the near sight's not going to worry them. He's still got so many angles left to check, trying to bait them into the fight. He's at least revealed one of them, but they are just dancing around him, and there's Kraven lurking in the darkness. BBL, they made it here just a few days ago, and they have already taken off the head of the Kings of EMEA.
They said that it was a solid showing from BBL, starting out this stage down there with a victory in day 2. We saw a lot of promise, but this leagues above even the highest of expectations. Fnatic, the slow starts and kickoff continue, and it's thanks to these boys on that stage, the new kids on the block, and the old boy leading them. They are here to do some damage, and you know what? I think there might be a trophy lift in their future. Phenomenal work. How far can they go?
Oh, the motto of this squad last year was belief is everything, but I can tell you for sure that this team has a hell of a lot of belief. As said, talking to Rose last year, they were talking about the fact they were facing these squads in scrims. They felt comfortable, they felt confident, but coming onto the stage versus a team that finished second at Champions just a few months ago,